Okay, so David, L'chaim. Oh, you have? Good. L'chaim. Thank you. Yaakov Shlomo, L'chaim. L'chaim. Hope to continue the L'chaim on my real birthday. B'ezras Hashem. Okay, so shalom everybody. Let's start, or let's continue. We had a long break, Baruch Hashem, due to the happy holidays. Now let's go back to our studies. And first, let's recap what did we learn before. Any memories, good memories of our previous classes? Mm-hmm. So how can we summarize what we know already? I got cheat sheet.
Too much.
Too much. You know too much?
There's too much to cover.
Oh, too much to cover. Let's try to summarize. Let's try to summarize. Okay, so we started with the realization that we have a mission, right? That we mentioned that the soul coming to this world is being sworn regarding certain responsibilities which we have in this world. So it's not for nothing. Whatever happens to us during the life has a purpose, because we are here on purpose. We have something, some task to accomplish. And to understand it with more clarity, we need to come to better realization of who we are. And when we say I, say we say soul, what exactly do we mean? And what's that mission? So we learned that every representative, so to speak, of that part of humankind which is called Am Israel, has very interesting spiritual structure, a little bit different from the rest of the world, because our mission is different. It's nothing chauvinistic to say so, because the concept of the soul is connected with the idea of the mission, of destiny. So since our mission is to connect something completely different, godliness with materiality of this world, our inner structure corresponds to the specification of this mission. And the structure of our soul is very dualistic, to the extent that we can actually say that there are two souls which we have in our possession, so to speak, which we call animal soul and godly soul. Animal soul, that's what animates our body, that's what immediately connected to it. And the godly soul is something more subtle, which is being revealed only when we act in accordance to our purpose in this world. And we spoke briefly about our animal soul, because that's what we immediately feel associate with ourselves. And then we spoke about the godly soul, and we discussed so to speak, the arsenal of the soul, the inner powers of the soul. 10 inner powers, which correspond to 10 divine sphirot, the channels of the transformation of the divine light. And these 10 inner powers could be divided into the groups. The powers of mind, Chochmah Bina Das, which is called Chabad, the abbreviation of 3 words, Chochmah Bina Das, Chabad, that's the mind, the intellect. And 7, what the Kabbalah calls midot, the measures of of character, the measures of individuality. The literal meaning of the word midot, measurements, measures. Very often, for the sake of simplicity, they are called emotional powers of the soul, right? We have intellectual powers, and the rest of them, which for the purpose of simplicity we call emotional, but you remember we discussed briefly the idea of which of them emotions, the feelings, doesn't completely describe the idea of those powers. It's a simplification, but we can call them this way. But the main idea is that all these channels, they transform the power, the energy of our soul to be expressed in the world around us. Even what we call emotions, starting from intellect. Intellect is already revelation, but this is the level of the revelation of idea, of concept, or whatever. It's revelation, but which we don't share with the world around us. I guess it's revelation for inside of one's mind, right? It's like inner revelation. When we're talking about the further powers, that's already revelation outside. Emotions, something being revealed to others, and emotions being revealed through action. That's the main purpose, to bring to the proper actions. All the work, the structure of those inner powers, from the realization, from the spark of concept, it should finally bring to the proper deed, to the proper action. So we spoke about how the work of mind, very important concept, that those powers of our soul, which we called emotional powers, being brought to, to action, to existence, even by the work, mutual work of the powers of intellect. When person's mind is being preoccupied by the thought about the greatness of God, through the observation, even through the observation of the world around us, analyzing how wonderful the creation is, that's what gives birth to the emotion of love and awe. That's simply speaking. That's what we discussed on the last classes. Any questions about what we discussed before on the previous classes? Before we continue. No questions. Good. Then let's go to the chapter 4.
I have a question.
You have a question. Good.
I just find it because it was from a long time ago. I wrote this down, but honestly, I only half understand what it means at this point because it was a month ago. Does love...
So the question is, what did I write?
Does love and fire and the reasons Aaron's son died go back to always view yourself as wicked?
I don't understand.
How we talked about in the last class, I believe, was fire thing.
We compared love to fire.
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason why Aaron's sons died, that they were so in love.
Okay.
With Hashem, but they didn't have any they didn't have any fear of him. Does that go back to the reason why we should always view ourselves as wicked?
That's the reason why
we should always view ourselves as wicked, even if the whole world says we're tzaddik.
I don't remember connecting this concept with that.
No, I think this is.
It's his own.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The short answer is no. This is not the reason. Why as we spoke on the first class, I believe, right? That when we quoted the Talmud, saying about the oath which our soul takes on the way to this world, strive to be tzaddik, right? And not to be wicked. But even if the whole world tells you that you are righteous, completely righteous, you are tzaddik, in your eyes you should be a wicked one, sinner. This is a very big question which Tanya explores, but this is not directly connected with the concept which you mentioned. What we discussed, talking about the love, which is a fire, and so on, we spoke about the necessity of proper balance. The love, burning love, this is the natural quality of our soul. It yearns to reunite with the source. But what does it mean? It means for the soul, it means return to the source, leaving this world. So to the person, it would mean death. But the soul was sent here in this world with a task, with a mission. So together with love, which would prevent person from drowning into the mud of materiality, should be also the feeling of responsibility. I'm here on purpose, which would not allow the person to get disconnected from this world. And these two vectors, two pulling forces, should be balanced. And for each person, the balance is individual. There are people which are very spiritual in their nature, and very often it comes with a disconnection from worldly things. So being distant from worldly things might be good, but to a certain extent, because we are sent into this world. So we need to deal with it, not to withdraw completely. Some people are in nature very material, so they should be constantly reminded, or they should remind themselves through praying and learning, that they are not just Homo sapienses. Smart monkeys. They are emissaries of the God Almighty in this world. They have higher purpose than just living material life. So it should be a balance, and for each person the balance is individual. L'chaim. Any other questions? Okay. ויש עוד לכל נפש אלוקיס שלושה לבושים שהם מחשבה דיבור ומעשה של תרי"ג מצוות התורה. In addition to what? In addition to that arsenal, which we called, of inner powers, starting from Chabad, Chochmah Ben Adas, and all the emotional powers, every divine soul, dealing with the godly soul, Nefesh Elokis, possesses three garments: thought, speech, and action, expressing themselves in the 613 commandments of the Torah. It's important to note when we're talking about the garments of the godly soul. The garments of the soul is thought, speech, and action. But when we're talking about the garments of the godly soul, it's not just thought, speech, and action in general, but only those which are connected in some way to our divine service, meaning fulfillment of 613 commandments of the Torah. But we'll go into details later. שכשהאדם מקיים במעשה כל מצוות מעשיס ובדיבור הוא עוסק בפירוש כל תרי"ג מצוות והלכיסיהם והשובה הוא מעסיק כל מה שאפשר לו להעסיק בפשט רמז דרוש סוד התורה, הרי כלל וסתריק עיוורין נפשי מלובושם בתרי"ג מצוות התורה. Okay. 4. When a person actively fulfills all the precepts which require physical action, and with his power of speech, he occupies himself in the expounding, discussing all the 613 commandments and their practical application. And with his power of thought, he comprehends all that is comprehensible to him in the pardes of the Torah. Pardes is the abbreviation. The word consists of 4 letters: Pei, Reish, Dalet, Samach, which correspond to 4 levels of the understanding of the Torah, from the Pshat, simple meaning, literal meaning, and to the Sod, secret, the esoterical meaning. Then the totality of the 613 organs of his soul are clothed in the 613 commandments of the Torah. Okay. Now let's discuss the concept of garments. We already compared the structure of the inner powers to the structure of human's body. They correspond. The intellectual powers, that's the parts of the head. Chesed and Gvura correspond to the arms, right and left, and so on. That's, so to speak, the body of the soul. Those channels of transformation of the energy of the soul, pure energy of the soul. But besides that, there are also the external channels, so to speak, external powers, which we call garments of the soul. Very serious reaction. I was expecting the laughter, but due to the central element of the composition.
It's a very nice garment. Nothing to laugh about. That suit's fine.
Okay. That's your suit, yeah.
My dad just green screened me out.
Yeah, I took the picture in my son's wardrobe, yeah. So, the Kabbalah mentions 3 garments of the soul: thought, speech, and action. First, let's discuss. I want to hear your, thoughts, associations when you hear the term garment. What does it recall? What can we tell about garments?
You know, like packaging, like if you're like a birthday present, you put it in a certain kind of box. Like you send something in UPS, another kind of box. So it's like different. That's what I think of.
Well, some mafia people manage to do the same with the bodies, but that's of course not normal situation. But okay.
Garments.
What else?
Change how you appear for different social settings.
Garments change how you appear to the different social situations, right? That's what you said.
For different social settings, you'll wear different things to appear a certain way for those.
Helping you to what? To adjust to the environment, to the environments.
To put out what you're trying to put out, I guess. Like.
Okay.
It's true, but it also has the opposite effect sometimes when you dress up in something nice.
What about the opposite effect?
When you dress up in something nice, you feel nicer. Or if you dress up in a certain uniform, you.
Beautiful. Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good point.
But you're trying to convey something with garments.
What else?
It protects you.
Protects you. Okay. Protects you. But what's the protection? That's actually, it hides you, right? Separates you from the environment, which might be, let's say, unfriendly, temperature-wise or whatever. Create certain barrier between the body, yourself, and the world outside. Okay, kind of screen between, right? What else?
mean, it's more what I was saying before, but you can change how someone appears. Like, you could take someone off the street, a beggar even, but if you dress...
Say it again?
You could take, like, a beggar off the street,
Okay.
put him in a nice suit, he'll even start to hold himself better, it'll change how he's perceived.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, it's something you
But
can
what is
change.
what is garment? What garments are?
Clothes.
And while saying it, try to think also how it could be connected with the garments of the soul, because they called garments for certain reason.
It's external. Everyone can see
External. That's the basic point. Unlike the previous powers which we discussed, intellect and emotions, which are internal, inner powers, those are external. But this is not the only reason why we call them garments. Which this is the basic reason, but not the only one.
They help your.
They help you.
They help. Well, thought, speech, and action. That's how you put yourself out into the world.
Present yourself to the world,
So it's
similar to how
expression of your soul.
expression of your soul. Similar to what Yosef said, that different outfits, right, show you, represent you in certain environments. Very good. What else?
If we're thinking about it compared to thought, speech, and action, garments can be changed.
Garments could be changed.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. And similar to thought, speech, and action.
Versus emotion, that's a lot harder.
Okay. Very good, very good.
You can't wear. I guess if we're talking about that, that's interesting. You can't wear the top layer without wearing the lower layers, but you can wear the lower layers without wearing the top layers.
Say it again. Say it again.
So you can wear like trousers and a t-shirt without
Uh-huh.
wearing a suit, but you can't wear a suit or like a trench coat without wearing anything underneath it. Like it has to go in that. Well, you're not
Some people manage to,
They do,
yeah.
but typically you want to be comfortable.
Some people manage to wear in different order, like Superman, who's wearing underwear on top of the. And I brought a good example of Miss how to say.
Dresses so fast, he can't really...
Oh, that's right. That's right. What else? Any more thoughts?
The more you spend on creating the clothing, the better the quality.
So investing in garment makes sense, right?
Investing in how you think, investing on how you articulate yourself, investing on that your actions are always appropriate.
Good idea. Very good point.
Interesting.
It's kind of like an expression. If it's like the garments of the soul, it's kind of an expression of your soul. So like your soul is kind of like an essence, and then putting in different garments is different kind of expressions of it.
True, absolutely true. But I think it repeats what your sister said. Huh? That's I think it's.
What is it?
I said it's an expression of your soul.
Oh, okay.
And that's.
Just clicked. I think it just clicked for me because I was like, garments of the soul, and then the thought, speech, and action are like the garments.
Yeah.
I thought like the garments.
Yeah.
I thought like those garments are like, yeah.
We just think the same.
I overdid this. I overdid this slide, right? You know,
It clicked really fast.
you look and you think how would I look in the blue suit, right?
Yeah.
That coat too, by the way. That's a beautiful Shabbos coat.
Also, the clothing item's supposed to correspond with thought, speech, and action because the undergarments, like on the left, they are less presentable than the ones on the right. So if it goes like thought, speech, and action, then it should be more presentable as you go.
Exactly. By this picture, I didn't mean to say that the thought is underwear of our soul. But in some sense, I did mean it, meaning that it's something which
Yeah.
Personal.
I mean, I don't want to sound like this comic who invited to the Trump's rally, but so I won't be giving in examples. But normally, underwear is called under because it's not meant to be shown, right? And that's how a thought works. It's something not to be directly shared, not to be shown to anybody else. It's a revelation, but inner revelation. So it is inner garment. That's why I included this particular type of garments in this picture. But I don't want to diminish the importance of the thought.
This is like of the whole soul, like animal and like the divine and animal soul combined. This is like
we're talking about divine soul.
Okay.
We are interested now in the garments of the divine soul. But before we go into specifics, I want to come to deeper realization of what is garment of the soul and why it's called garment. The basic understanding we have, because this is the external to our soul, this is the way our soul expresses itself in the outer space, so to speak. But also there are few more moments. Okay, I would add a few points, and I summarize it this way. And some of them you already mentioned, right?
Yeah.
It's something external. That's what it's called garment. Also, garment. You can wear it, or you can take it off. You can speak, or you can be quiet. For some people, it's hardly doable, but theoretically, you can do something. You can refrain from doing something. The only thing is, which marks the clear difference between thought and underwear. The thought is something. The thought is a garment constantly worn by our soul. And it's without special techniques, you cannot stop it. And I'm not sure that those techniques are actually part of the traditional Jewish practice, so we're not going to go into this area. So we're going to consider the thought as a constantly worn garment, but it's hidden. It's inner garment. But generally speaking, the garment could be worn, could be taken off. The speech could be used, could be seized, right? The same with action. Another very unique thing, maybe not so unique. You can wear your garments, right? Or you can borrow it. You can wear somebody's garment. It's the same with the garments of our soul. You can even with the thoughts. How many people are actually thinking by themselves and constantly, it's nothing wrong. If it's a good thought, it's nothing wrong to borrow it and to think about it. Speech, the words, quoting, plagiarizing, or just repeating on a proper occasion. You can say your own words, your way. And speech is such a precious tool given to us. That's why the whole humankind, in the terms of Kabbalah, has been called medaber, the one who can speak. This is the tool to express the power of our mind, to share it with the world. So it's very important to use it. So it's to show the power of your mind. Very often people just, again, I don't want to go into politics, and to give example of people just repeating like what do you call it? Talking bird.
Rhetoric?
Parrots, yeah. Like parrots. The words written by speechwriters and so on. But our mind is given to us to use, to be used, to be revealed through our words. And the action. Person could be doing his or her job, things, but very often we're doing something which is not ours. Borrowing somebody's garment, so to speak, or wearing the garment just being imposed forcibly upon us by conditions or whatever. It also happens. But like Rabbi David mentioned, being external, the garments have a tremendous power affecting our state of mind, the mood, right?
Yeah.
And that's tremendous concept. This is so very profound. We're not going to go deep into it. We will mention it further, but this represents the tremendous power of what we call garments of the soul. Being external, they have tremendous importance. Even being able to affect the essence of our souls. So it should not be underestimated, to say the least. Now, we just said that through these garments, thought, speech, and action which are connected with the fulfillment of the commandments, the mitzvahs of the Torah. He said when the power of speech. One second. When a person actually fulfills the commandments of which require physical action, and with power of speech occupies in expounding of all the commandments and their practical applications, and with his power of thought, he comprehends all that is available for him to understand in all the levels of the Torah. Then the totality of 613 organs of his soul are enclosed in the 613 commandments of the Torah. Now, the Tanya continues in details this concept. Ubefratius, Pchinis Chochma bin Adas shebenafshei meluboshes behasogas hatoira shehu masik the pshat rames drush soit kifi yecholes asagosi v'shorish nafshei limayla. Okay, let's go step by step. First, how it applies to the powers of the intellect. With powers of intellect, it's more or less simple as self-understood. Specifically, the faculties of Chabad, Chochma bin Adas, of his soul, are clothed in the comprehension of the Torah. Our mind, our intellect, is given to us to understand. So how do you apply it to the Torah? You apply it to understanding of the commandments. On all the levels, which were in pardes, as we said, on all the levels of understanding of the Torah. From the simple meaning, like if we're talking about the commandments, commandment is instruction, what to do or what to refrain from. Right? There is something to understand. Even the simple instruction should be understood. But as we know, there are commandments which are not so simple, so it might be a lot of things to understand, especially how to apply this commandment to different conditions, how to fulfill it, or how to refrain from doing wrong in certain conditions, and so on. So just on the level of actual fulfillment, there's a lot to learn and to understand, and that's what we use our Chabad for, Chochma bin Adas, our powers of intellect. But it's not only that. Every commandment, besides the practical, the literal meaning, has different levels of inner meaning. It's allegorical meaning. Like we discussed we discussed recently, the mitzvah of the holiday of Sukkot. 4 species, 4 different kinds of plants we put together and make a blessing. And the simple meaning is take a palm branch, not open yet, take at least 3 branches of myrtle, take 2 branches of willow, connect it with the citron, make a blessing. There are more details to it to understand and to fulfill, because each plant has certain criteria of being suitable to fulfill the mitzvah. So there is a lot to learn on the literal level of fulfillment. Besides that, we discussed the allegorical meaning of this mitzvah. Each kind represents certain group of Jewish nation. I don't need to repeat it, right? Every rabbi says it every year, few times. Only when we together, then when blessing come upon us. Great. But besides that, there is also mystical meaning revealed in the teaching of Kabbalah and Hasidus. How fulfilling this operation, doing this action, affects the worlds above, and as a result brings the positive effect into this world. And again, each and every person has his own share of understanding on every level of the wisdom of the Torah, starting from the basic, simplest meaning, and to the most esoterical. Each one in his own proportion, because each one is different. The mind, it's not about being smarter or more simpleton. The smartness could be different, even in the level of mundane life. The scientists talk about different kinds of smartness. There is scientific smartness, so to speak, mathematical or practical, and so on. And the person who is genius in math could be complete moron in some aspects of daily life.
Book smart or street smart?
There are different ways, and so here also it's not about being smarter or vice versa. It's about different balance of skills of mind. There are people who more inclined into the Talmudic studies. There are people who like to learn more about the allegorical meaning, let's say, of the Torah. There are people who are strongly inclined into the mysticism. And even though there's a rule that the person should concentrate on what he likes to learn, that's about priorities. But those priorities should not exclude other areas of Torah study. So the biggest Talmudist is not exempt from learning mystical teaching of the Torah, and it's important that such a person should use his power of mind to understand those hidden aspects of the Torah wisdom. And there are many books expound how important it is to learn. The biggest authority for, let's say, literature communities, the Vilner Gaon, in his commentary to Kohelet, writes that those who intentionally avoid studying the mystical teaching of the Torah, they delay the coming of Mashiach. Such a strong words, and there are many sources discussing this. On the other hand, the person who loves mysticism is not exempt from studying Talmud, and especially the practical halachas, practical laws. It all should be balanced, and each one has his own share on different of how much he should learn on every level of the Torah wisdom, all 4 of them. That's part of our job description. So when the person occupies himself in the Torah study, the powers of his mind, Chochmah Bina Das, are enclosed in the ideas of the Torah which he's learning. Okay, so that's relatively easy to understand. But what about what about the middays? Those powers of the soul which we call emotional powers. How are they could be enclosed into the fulfillment of the mitzvahs, into the mitzvahs? How love or fear connected with I don't know, putting on tefillin or refraining from eating pork? There's no obvious connection on that level of discussion, right? There's emotions and there are mitzvahs. What's the connection between them? Okay. והמידה שהם יראה ואהב וענפיהם ותלדיסיהם מלובושת בקיום המצוות במעשה ובדיבור שהוא תלמוד תורה שכנגד כולם. And the midas, the emotional powers expressed through the fear and love, together with their offshoots and ramifications, are clothed in the fulfillment of the commandments in deed and in word, namely in the study of the Torah, which is equivalent to them all. So those emotional powers are being enclosed in the fulfillment of the mitzvahs, either in action or in speech. Because what does mean in speech? When you discuss the fulfillment of the mitzvahs or when you study, it's very important when you study the Torah to pronounce the words and to have hivrusa, to have the learning partner to discuss what you're learning. Through that, your entire being is sorry for the repetitiveness, being involved and immersed in the process of the Torah study, not just cognitive function of your brain, but also speech. And if you're truly involved, and the person is shaking, so even the motorics of his body is being involved in the process of study, which is important. But again, did we get the explanation of the connection of midas? We got a statement that they are being enclosed in the fulfillment. How? It's like there we have emotions, and there is a fulfillment. How are they connected? How are they being enclosed into it? There are terms of different levels, different groups of items, so to speak. It's like I'll try to use the Russian the part of Russian joke, trying to translate it. It's like digging the trench from 2 o'clock till the next fence, right?
But isn't it like you're expressing your emotions through your actions and speech and fulfillment? You're expressing emotion.
How?
Through the fulfillment of the
commandments. How? Okay.
External, like
don't tell me.
Internal,
How your action? You put on tefillin. How does it express? How does it express your love to God?
Whatever. I don't know the emotional meaning behind tefillin.
So that's the question. How? Even if you say that you do it with, I don't know, loving sounds, not just quietly putting, but that's has nothing to do with fulfillment of the mitzvahs, at least at the first glance.
I'm saying what it is.
The mitzvah is to put on one box next to your heart on your arm, right? and the second box on your head.
Well, is it the heart?
What?
Intellect, and then you say Shema, and you have awe and reverence.
But what? This is, first of all, it's action. They might represent or correspond, but there's no, your brain is not in this box, right? It's under. Hopefully, right? Your emotions are not in this box, but then next to, so to speak. But the commandment is to put it here and here. What's the connection with your emotions?
You feel fear and love through the
Through. So you say that. Please explain.
And the middle, namely fear and love, together with their offshoots and ramifications, are clothed in the fulfillment of the.
Clothed. So how? But how? That's my question. Okay, we read it, but at the first glance it sounds rather like a statement which requires the explanation, but not as an explanation. Am I wrong? You understand the question?
Yeah.
So it's like, how does...
What does he mean saying that your emotions, love and fear and all the ramifications of them, closed or enclosed into the fulfillment of the mitzvahs, of the commandments?
Why
How?
are you fulfilling it? Because you're fulfilling it either because you love God or for fear of the.
Oh. Let's read the next paragraph. Four, right? Do you see the right? Yeah. Ki ha'ahava hi shoirish kol ramach mitzvahs asei, umimena hem nimshachis, ubiladehin ein lahem kiyum mitzi. For love is the root of all the 448 positive commandments, all originating in it and having no true foundation without it. Ki hamekayim be'emes hu ha'oyev es Shem Hashem v'chafetz lidavka boi be'emes. V'i efshar lidavka boi be'emes ki im be'kiyim ramach pikudin. Shem ramach iver in the malka ki biyachal. Inasmuch as he who fulfills them in truth truly loves the name of God and desires to cleave to him in truth. For one cannot truly cleave to him except through the fulfillment of 248 commandments, which are called 248 organs of the king. The meaning of that, our emotional powers being enclosed in the fulfillment of the mitzvahs, is that they motivate us to do so. The love is the main motivation to fulfill the prescriptions of the Torah, the positive commandments, and making one step ahead, the fear of all. Again, on our level of conversation, we're not talking about fear of punishment. This is not the level of a relationship worth it of discussion. Even on the level that it's better than nothing, but it's a more subtle fear, rather respect. Oh, that's what motivates. That's the main motivation for us to refrain from transgressing the prohibitions. Because what is love? We discussed already. Love, in essence, is the desire to be together, desire of closeness. You cannot be close with someone if you're not ready to do what the object of your feeling loves or wants you to do. In any relationship is the exchange of certain, I don't want to use the word favors, but I don't have any substitute for that. But in essence, it is something.
transactions.
In any, like the sages say, knelig chaver, acquire a friend for yourself. Why such a materialistic term? Because the friendship cannot exist without mutual favors. Doing something for the object of your friendship, affection, whatever. So let's start from this point next time, because it really requires expounding. What is true love? How the love must be I don't want to say fed, accompanied by the actions, and what kind of actions, and how these actions should be executed. Okay, thank you very much. Any questions?